It's mostly science and fiction. Mostly.
Whatever happened to that Monday chick anyway? So due to genetically modified food, the rate of twins, triplets, quadruplets, quintets, sextets, and even septets, which is what this film focuses on, have rapidly increased. Although that's total bullshit, let's put opinion aside for a second and just pretend that genetically modified food made this happen. Here's what's going on. So due to these incredibly high birth rates, the world's population has massively increased, almost 10 billion. A one-child policy has been implemented in order to control human population growth, like what China did, because, we all know how that turned out. But because of the freaky foods, so many people end up having twins and triplets and shit, making the one-child policy impossible to uphold. But thanks to this radically advanced cryogenic technology, we now have a solution. If twins are born, or whatever, the oldest is allowed, or the firstborn is allowed to remain in the real world, and the other is frozen with the promise of being able to be thawed when the world's population gets in order. So that's the premise. Here's the quick plot. Overpopulation has ruined agriculture, not enough food to feed all us hungry cunts. New super genetically modified food gets made to feed everyone, but the side effect is having lots of twins and triplets and shit. A Child Allocation Act has been implemented, spearheaded by Nicolette Kamen, played by Glenn Close, head of the Bureau and candidate for Parliament. This one-child policy is meant to control population growth. Siblings get frozen in cryo and stored until such time as the world is less populated or something like that. Checkpoints have been erected all over the nation and all citizens are required to wear a Bureau-issued identity bracelet. This keeps track of people and makes sure no illegal siblings are running about sucking up precious resources. We then meet Terrace Setman, played by William Dafoe. He is the grandfather of the main protags, played by Noomi Reprise. The Prometheus chick. I know Noomi is not pronounced Noomi, but it's fun to say. So Karen, the mum, dies when she gives birth to Septuplets. Will Dog vows to raise them in secret and not turn them over to the cryo-sleep Bureau Nazis. Why? I don't know, I guess cause fuck the oppressive regime, right guys? In order to keep their identity secret, he raises them in a loft apartment and names each one after a day of the week. Each child is only allowed to go outside into the public on the day their name corresponds to. When doing so, they will all assume the same identity, Karen Setman. They will act, behave, speak, and dress the same. They will use wigs and makeup to give the appearance that they are all one person. So much is at stake when keeping their secret that when one of the girls cheekily sneaks out and has a skateboarding accident and loses a finger, Will Dog has to cut off the other girl's fingers too. What happens to one, happens to them all. They also have a knockoff identity bracelet that's been hacked, which allows them to pass through checkpoints as Karen Setman. 30 years later, we meet the grown-up versions of them all. Grandpa is dead, and away we go. So there are two major twists in this film, and here they are. The first one being that, the twins and triplets and siblings were not actually being frozen for later use, but incinerated instead. Burnt to death, never to be seen of again. Wasn't really a big shock, as I predicted this was the case from the start, as we never actually see the sleep pods, but anyway, it's still pretty fucked. The Bureau has been obliterating children for decades and lying about it. Nice one, Close. Nice. The second big twist we will talk about in a bit. During the course of the film, Monday goes missing and the gang tries to find out why. It turns out that they have been discovered, as in the Bureau has become suspicious that there is more than one Karen, and they believe Monday has been arrested. And she has. Oh no. Or has she? Naturally, they assume someone they know has sold them out, maybe the office rival, or Monday's boyfriend, Adrian, who works for the Bureau. Anyway, they go about looking for Monday, and the Bureau slowly bumps them off one by one. The big twist is that the person who sold them out was one of them. Dun, 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 dun. It was Monday. Monday wasn't abducted, she was the oldest, as in the firstborn, and believed she deserved total freedom while the other girls should have been cryo-frozen. She even goes so far as to call them all after birth. She is fed up living in squalor. She fell in love with Adrian and wanted to be with him, so she made a deal with the head of the one-child policy thing, Dr. Nicolette Kamen, but shit got whacked, man, because Kamen is basically Hitler, and it all went very yucky. She sold out her sisters to the Bureau so she could assume the role of Karen full-time and have all the days of the week to herself. Anyway, she gets shot by Tuesday and dies. Sucked in, bitch. But it turns out she was preggo. Perhaps another reason she wanted to be free from the secret life. Anyway, what's left of the gang released the footage of the child being incinerated that they secretly recorded earlier when they snuck into the base to rescue Monday. Dr. Nicolette Kamen confesses and gets arrested with a death penalty pending. She says she was doing it for the betterment of humanity. And in a way it kinda was. Like, I'm not advocating burning children alive, I'm just saying, if you have to incinerate someone, it might as well be children, right? I'm kidding, of course. Or am I? Glenn Close is clearly a monster, and I mean the actor, not the character. Jokes again. Anyway, moving on. Adrian and Monday's baby is saved, and we see it in an artificial womb. Guess what? It's twins, but don't worry, the one-child policy thing has been removed. Nicolette Kamen has been arrested, the cryo program has been shut down, and so everything is gonna be okay. Except all the sisters bar 2 are fucking dead, and like the overpopulation and dwindling resource issue is still a thing. Oh well, the end. hey, check out these other things I do, and my podcast, and my band that has just released its debut album. Or don't check them out. Or do. Or don't.